Welcome back, focused learners. Let's jump right into today's explainer because we are decoding a secret language that is happening right in front of you literally every single day. Now, you might naturally assume that the loudest person in the room is the one running the show, right? But the truth? How a person sits in a meeting actually speaks much, much louder than their words ever could. Today, we're going to translate that silent language. So, who is in charge of your life? Sounds like a massive, heavy, philosophical question, doesn't it? But what if I told you that whether you believe you control your destiny or the world controls you isn't some hidden mystery at all? It's actually a secret that's perfectly visible to anyone just by looking around a city bus or a corporate boardroom. Okay, let's break this down. The core psychological engine running here is what we call your internal locus of control. Basically, this reveals if you genuinely believe you are the author of your own life or if you're just a passenger at the mercy of your surroundings. And here is where it gets absolutely fascinating. Your everyday resting posture acts as a direct, nonstop broadcast of this internal locus of control. Without saying a single syllable, your body is telling the entire room exactly how much power you feel you hold over your own existence.
Section 1. Taking space versus filtering.
Let's look at exactly how much physical real estate a person decides to occupy when they sit down, consciously or, totally unconsciously. We generally see two primary silhouettes in almost any gathering. First up, you have the relaxed and expansive posture. This is the person who comfortably takes up space, but crucially, without being aggressive or overly dominating about it. They just fully exist. On the exact opposite side, we have the tense and filtered posture. This is the person who is actively, physically minimizing themselves. They're pulling their arms in, crossing their legs tightly, just trying to shrink their physical footprint in the room. Now, the psychology powering that expansive, relaxed silhouette, it is all about self-concept clarity. When you see someone sitting with that open posture, they're operating from a place of deep emotional independence. They aren't trying to hide their flaws, well, because they've already accepted them. They are entirely unbothered by society's obsession with looking absolutely perfect. They've found their internal baseline, and their physical body beautifully reflects that calm self-acceptance. But then, on the flip side, we have the filtered sitter. They try to physically take up less space, they often show signs of high social anxiety, and fundamentally, they are seeking external validation. It's kind of wildly ironic when you really think about it. By physically trying to hide and filter themselves, the filtered sitter is actually broadcasting a really loud message. They are practically screaming their need for the room's approval to anyone who knows how to read body language. They're letting the external world control their internal comfort. Section 2. Observers and analyzers. Let's go a little deeper into our hypothetical meeting room. We've talked about the expansive sitters and the shrinking ones, but what about the quieter, more rigid sitting archetypes? Enter observational intelligence. If you notice someone who sits incredibly still and observant, they aren't just checked out or bored. Quite the opposite, actually. They're actively utilizing observational intelligence. This means they are constantly learning from what everyone else in the room is accidentally revealing while strategically protecting their own mystery. Stillness, in this context, is a highly strategic tool. You don't give away your emotional baseline, but you gather absolutely everyone else's data. Then you have the person sitting perfectly upright and highly attentive. This posture screams System 2 dominance. In psychology, System 2 thinking is deliberate, it's logical, it's slow. When someone is locked into this perfectly upright posture, their mental state is fully primed to reflect and analyze deeply, rather than just firing off some knee-jerk reaction. They are holding their body in a state of absolute readiness to process complex information before they make a single move. Which brings us to Section 3, the art of listening. Okay, we aren't just looking at static resting postures anymore, we're looking at micro movements. People make these incredibly subtle shifts specifically when they are actively receiving information from others. Look out for this specific physical action next time you're speaking, tilting the head or leaning back. It seems so incredibly minor, right? Just a slight shift in gravity or a few degrees of rotation in the neck, but trust me, it is a massive tell when someone is in the listener's seat. So the crucial point is why they do this. We decode this specific listening posture as a strong indicator of high interpersonal sensitivity. When someone naturally tilts their head or leans back while you're speaking, they are physically adjusting their body to read the words you don't say. They are evaluating the tone, the unspoken dynamics, the hidden emotional undercurrent of the room. They are literally tuning their physical antenna to pick up on the subtle frequencies of human interaction.
I know I just threw a lot of psychological jargon at you, so let's tie this all together into a handy little decoder ring for your next meeting. If they're still and observant, they're using observational intelligence. Upright and attentive, that's system 2 dominance, getting ready to analyze. Tilted head or leaning back, high interpersonal sensitivity. By just keeping this simple breakdown in the back of your mind, you can instantly read the room's cognitive states before the very first agenda item is even introduced.
And finally, section 4. True confidence is quiet.
Let's bring all this home and completely redefine what confidence actually is. True confidence is quiet, it is completely unbothered, and it relies strictly on internal validation. We are so often conditioned to think that confidence is the loudest guy at the table, the one speaking over everyone else and wildly gesturing. But the behavioral data shows us otherwise. An unbothered, relaxed physical state, that expansive posture backed by self-concept clarity, that is the genuine marker of internal validation. It's a quiet, unshakable power.
I want to leave you with a really powerful takeaway quote from the source material for today's explainer. Your body reveals your mind's truth long before you speak. Let that sink in for a second. Everything we've covered today, from the internal locus of control to interpersonal sensitivity, is firmly anchored in this one undeniable truth. You simply cannot outtalk your own posture. Your physical silhouette is always giving away the game. So here is my final, slightly provocative question for you. Next time you take a seat, whether it's in a high-stakes boardroom, hopping on a train, or just sitting down at your local coffee shop, what is your silhouette going to say about you? Are you broadcasting quiet confidence and emotional independence, or are you shrinking and filtering yourself for the room's approval? Turn that decoder ring inward. Start observing your own posture and take full charge of the silent language you speak every single day. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep observing out there, and I'll catch you in the next one.